In this video, we'll be going over mods to add to the lore continuity of Skyrim. We'll be adding new items, creatures, and locations. Starting off on our list, we'll delve into the world of Elder Scrolls Online with ESO Imports, a mod that brings a wealth of content into Skyrim. Let's start with some of the locations it adds. The mod adds over 16 major locations and 16 minor ones. One of the new major locations is Old Windhelm, an ancient section of the Great City that has been entirely abandoned and forgotten. Within the ruins you can find the Hall of Trials, which in the current era only houses the undead. And slightly to the east you can find the Grinning Hawker, a long since abandoned inn. Then further south there's the serene or eerie Venom Woods, located just southeast of the Rift Watchtower. But this mod isn't just about locations, it also adds 7 new spells, with my favourite being the Teleport Strike. This spell allows you to teleport directly to your target, ambushing them and dealing 50 points of magical damage. Another one of the new spells is the Dragon Knight Standard, which places down a banner that causes enemies in a nearby radius to take 15 points of fire damage per second, as well as reducing their healing abilities by 30%. And of course it adds some items too. It adds the Blood Mask, which boosts your magicka, then there's the Mace of Companions, which restores your stamina with every successful hit, and the Robes of the Sun, which boosts the damage of your flame spells by 20%. ESO Imports also adds new creatures into Skyrim, like the new types of bear, the rare dragon-tail goats, and the new rosy netches. All in all, this mod adds loads of new content from the Elder Scrolls Online and is definitely worth trying out. Now that we've added some Elder Scrolls Online lore, let's now move on to another mod that revives the artifacts you can find in Oblivion, with the Oblivion Artifact Pack. With this mod, you can find many of the unique items you could find in Oblivion. For instance, you can acquire the Eye of Sithis, which allows you to see creatures and people through walls, which is especially useful for sneaky characters. The Hands of the Atronach boost your magical resistance against mages and elemental creatures, and the Battle Axe of Hatred, which not only banishes Daedra, but also makes enemies struck by the axe flee in terror. Each artifact not only has their unique enchantment, but also comes with their unique model to match. Now we're going to move on to the Beasts of Skyrim with 2 mods by Fourth Unknown that bring some creatures from the previous games back into Skyrim. Starting with Morrowind Creatures. This mod introduces 3 species native to Morrowind into the realm of Skyrim. You'll now encounter Nixhounds, Koguti and Gwar on the island of Solstheim, and in Raven Rock you can even find a domesticated Gwar who you can ride just as you would a horse. Also by Fourth Unknown we have the simply titled Daedra. This one introduces 6 types of Daedra creatures, being Clanfear, Daedroths, Scamps, Ogrims, Hungers, and Sheogora's Dark Seducers. What makes this mod even better is that these Daedra aren't confined to a particular quest or location. You'll find them scattered across Skyrim, adding a layer of unpredictability to your travels. Conjurers can even learn to summon these Daedra creatures by acquiring their respective spell tomes. Next up we have Tamrielic Distribution. This mod carefully places specific items and locations that logically align with the lore. For example, Netch leather armor, which is native to Morrowind, is now available in Skyrim but only in places where it makes sense. You'll now find it with the Khajiit caravans, as well as the East Empire Company vendor in Solitude. Moreover, all the bandits previously wearing leather armor on Solstheim now wear Netch leather, which certainly makes more sense thematically. Members of the Silverblood family, who are deeply involved in silver mining and trading, now don silver armor, to further reinforce their identity and wealth. Tamrielic Distribution also has several add-ons for other mods. For example, if you have the Beyond Skyrim Bone Mold weapon pack installed, Tamrielic Distribution will ensure that Redoran guards in Solstheim will wield the weapons, making for a more lore-consistent arsenal. And that was only a few examples. Tamrielic Distribution integrates many of the Creation Club items, as well as items from other mods, seamlessly into the world of Skyrim. But for an even broader range of items from all across Tamriel, we have Beyond Skyrim Wares of Tamriel. Docked at Dawnstar, you'll find a new ship led by Cardana Palo. She's not just a static NPC, she's a vendor with an expansive inventory. Cardana's inventory is a lore-rich collection that spans all across Tamriel. She offers everything from mithril battle axes and Argonian daggers, to Cyrodiilic clothing and regional foods. What really elevates this mod is the high-quality voice acting of Cardana and her crew.
That I am. That's why I call myself Captain Old.
You can ask the new NPCs to tell you about any rumours they've heard.
Sure have. Some of them are even true.
And with Tamrielic Distribution, you'll find some of the new items scattered throughout Skyrim. You'll find Dunmerry food sold at the new Nissa's Corner Club, and the Khajiit guarding the caravans now wield weapons from elsewhere. All in all, Beyond Skyrim Wares of Tamriel is a fantastic mod that just adds some authenticity to the broader lore of Tamriel. Now let's look at 2 mods to improve the lore continuity of the undead of Skyrim. For our first mod, we have Ancient Nord Stalhrim. This is a must-have for anyone who has an eye for lore accuracy. In vanilla Skyrim, Ancient Nords, or Draugr, wield ebony weapons, which in the lore is more of a dark elven style of weaponry. This mod corrects this oversight by replacing the ebony weapons with Ancient Stalhrim ones. The stats remain identical to ebony, ensuring that the Draugr are just as formidable as before, but they now carry weapons that better fit their cultural context. And if you've ever played Morrowind and have ventured into Solstheim, you'll know that the Draugr there have a different aesthetic compared to the ones we see in Skyrim's rendition of the island. Well, the Cannibal, Draugr and Solstheim mod addresses this by providing these undead beings with a gruesome makeover. They now have blackened skin, red eyes and blood-stained mouths. While these changes are purely cosmetic, they align much more closely with how these creatures were portrayed in Morrowind, enhancing the overall consistency of the lore. Next we have 2 tiny mods. First we have Karstaag the Frost King Reborn, which overhauls the appearance of Karstaag to make him more akin to his Morrowind counterpart. While the fight mechanics remain unchanged, the mod provides Karstaag with a unique appearance, rather than just being another frost giant. And the figure of Jiub is iconic for anyone who's played Morrowind. In Skyrim, Jiub reappears in the Soul Cairn, but with an entirely different look. The Jiub Morrowind appearance mod changes this by altering Jiub's appearance to resemble his Morrowind version. While this is a purely cosmetic change, it's a touch Morrowind fans will appreciate. Now after revisiting one of Morrowind's most iconic characters, our next mod makes each race in Skyrim feel more distinct and lore appropriate. We have Racial Body Morphs. This mod is another purely cosmetic enhancement, but one that's significant for maintaining lore consistency. This mod changes the physical attributes of each race according to their lore and natural abilities. For instance, Orcs and Nords are bulkier, High Elves are taller and wiry, and Bosmer are shorter. These changes, while not affecting gameplay mechanics, just help each race to feel more unique and true to their respective backgrounds. Next, we have Oblivion Gates Remade. Now, as I'm sure most of you know, the Oblivion Crisis was a cataclysmic event that had repercussions throughout Tamriel, including Skyrim. What this mod does is add Oblivion Gates throughout Skyrim's landscape. They are designed to feel ancient, like they've been standing there for over 200 years, serving as a slightly eerie reminder of the event that was said to have ravaged Skyrim. Our next mod, Dark Anchor Ruins, is in a similar vein to Oblivion Gates Remade, in that the mod introduces ruins of Dark Anchors and Dolmens around Skyrim. There are a total of 6 of these ruins and they're located in the Eastern Holds, being Eastmarch and the Rift. The locations are not randomly chosen. They are placed exactly where they appear in the Elder Scrolls Online. So for those of you looking for some more consistency between the worlds of Elder Scrolls Online and Skyrim, this mod is a great way to do it. Next, let's delve into Rin's Azura's Shrine, a mod that revamps one of the most mystical locations in Skyrim. In the base game, Azura's Shrine is a tad underwhelming, as at the base of it, there's only a few boxes, a single bed, and her sole worshipper, who seems oddly content in living atop a frozen mountain. This mod changes all of that. Now the area features an undercroft beneath the statue, serving as a more appropriate dwelling for Azura's followers. Moreover, the mod introduces a brand new dungeon, which is relatively short but offers a good challenge. The mod enhances the overall experience of visiting the shrine, making it, in my opinion, slightly more realistic. Now let's dive into some really niche lore with the Relic of Dawnstar. This mod adds an artifact from the extremely unpopular Elder Scrolls game, The Elder Scrolls Travels Dawnstar. In the game, Dawnstar is attacked by a tribe of ice people, led by the monster Gehennoth Thriceborn. The character that you play as, of course, slays Thriceborn and saves Dawnstar. This mod commemorates that event by adding the monster's skull as a sort of trophy that can be found in the White Hall in Dawnstar. It's a nice touch that adds a layer of interconnectedness between the different games in the Elder Scrolls universe. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe for more, and don't forget to endorse the mod you enjoy using.